Hi, welcome to 766. That's the week number since Talent Heads, my business, has been going. This is the second video recording of this series, The Journey of a Northeast Entrepreneur. And I'm delighted to jump back on at the end of another super busy week in our business and just share a little bit openly, honestly, frankly, about what it's been like to be a founder, an entrepreneur, a business leader in a business currently. So just wanting to jump straight on to the stats that I said I would discuss or share every single week. So dramas, we've had one. Do you know what? I'm really looking forward to seeing how many themes we've got as we go back through the previous weeks. I'd love to see in total how many dramas actually come about from owning and starting a business. I am going to share a little bit about that drama, but not too much. The last episode was a little bit more about drama. I really want to try and make this really balanced so you can see the positives as well as some of the challenges. I think it's important to see it like holistically and just give as much of a rounded view of what it's like as possible. So drama's one, belly laughs. I have to say I'm going to share today a little bit about celebrating success. I think that's the theme of today's session, is around celebrating success and enjoying the journey. Someone said to me not that long ago, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And it sounds a little bit cheesy if I'm honest, but actually it's really true. Sometimes you're really focused on the end result, and if you're anything like me, the end result just keeps changing. It's not good enough. It keeps wanting to move forward. It keeps pushing forward. So yeah, today we're going to talk about enjoying the journey and celebrating success. So belly laughs, I laughed all of Wednesday evening. It was just so much fun, but I'm going to share a little bit more with you about that. The number of hours for internal meetings was 4. Number of hours outside of working hours. So I went down to London this week. So I got down to London. We stayed overnight, myself, one of my colleagues and one of our clients. So I'd probably say about 8 or 9 additional hours on top of my working week this week. Number of networking events, 2. I went to a fabulous seminar, kind of learning session with lots of business owners. I think I mentioned it in my last video about how we are members of the Northeast Entrepreneurs Forum. And it's just fantastic. And they had another session. They had a session about strategic leadership, which was really good. We covered loads of different areas, including the drama triangle, which was extremely useful. And I came back feeling very energized by it. Number of interesting client conversations, 3. I had the pleasure of spending Wednesday night with one of our current clients. He has been one of our current clients for maybe about 2.5 years, which is just ideal. And it was really interesting hearing his perspective, find out what's happening in the business, in his business, and also hearing how the budget and some of the changes that are coming into force are going to impact his workforce. So that was super interesting, as well as a new client has come on board. Family commitments, because we are leading up to Christmas, and I'm sure people will be watching this after Christmas, because I really want to kind of get a bit of a stock of videos so that people can see them, and if they do like them and they do get anything out of them, they can watch them consecutively. But because it is coming up to Christmas, I am taking a bit of time off on occasional days just to be around the family, just so I don't go sprinting the Christmas break and then get hit by some kind of cold or something. It always happens when you're full out. As soon as you stop, it's just automatically game over. So I'm taking a couple of extra days. Last week I took the Monday. This week I've taken the Monday, and today I'm going out this afternoon with a really good another business owner along with our partners as well. So we're going up to Bamborough this afternoon. So I've taken a couple of days out of the business this week, but I have done additional hours in the days that I have been working. Dedicated learning hours, as I mentioned, I've done 4. That event where I attended for the Entrepreneurs Forum was absolutely fantastic, and something I will definitely be taking into some actions for next week and having conversations with the HODs about it too. Okay, so yes, the theme of today is celebrating success. I want to talk about an event that I went to a Wednesday night. If I'm really honest, anyone who follows me on LinkedIn will see that I do try and share as much as I possibly can. I think this whole thing is about making sure that we do share, and we can get everyone else enjoying the positivity, and also kind of the challenges as well. So on Wednesday night, the drama that happened was I was getting everything ready. About an hour before Alison, who was one of my colleagues, who we were going to the London trip together, before she was due to pick me up, I said to one of the team, have we got the tickets for the event tonight? I've got train tickets, I've got hotel tickets, but I haven't got the event tickets for tonight. Have you got them, and can I please have them? And thank you. To which I got a reply of, oh no, someone else is doing that. So I went to the someone else and I said, Kelly, have you got the tickets? And Kelly was like, no, I thought that Leslie was doing that. And all of a sudden it was panic stations. We had invited a client down to London to meet us so that we could celebrate us being finalists in the IHR, the Internal In-House Recruitment Awards 2024. And our client was already there, but we didn't have tickets for the event. Unbelievable. Any case, we got that drama sorted out pretty quickly, but I did have two team members who were extremely stressed, and I was trying to calm them both down, thinking it'll be fine, we'll be able to sort it all out, we're a finalist, I'm sure they'll let us in. If not, we'll be sitting outside with a glass of Prosecco trying to earwig in, listening to see if we can hear our names or not. But in any case, it all went to plan. We went down, Alison and I, on the train from Morpeth down to London. We got into our hotel, and got ready, and then met our client. And what an evening, what an absolute evening. I think it's important to say that celebrating success is really important, because the majority of the time it is really tough. Everyone's looking at you, everyone's asking for you to make some decisions. It feels as if you're anything like me, where all of the tougher stuff takes priority. Like, I just want to make sure, it doesn't matter how good things are, I'm always looking for the next challenge. I always want to try and fix things, and I do feel a little bit sometimes coy about ringing my own bell a little bit too much. Like, I think sometimes, even though I post everything on LinkedIn, I really try and make it balanced, because I do think sometimes if you just say all of the gloss constantly about how well people are doing, that can, one, inspire you, but secondly, it can really kind of make you start to compare yourself to others and think, why aren't I doing as well? And actually the reality is that nothing's that straightforward, and nothing that's worth as much as it is when you're setting up a business and growing a business is going to be plain sailing all of the time. So going down to London, meeting our client, it was an investment of money. It really is. I think when they are more regional, it's a little bit easier, because you can drive there and drive back. You can take a few more team members and do a big celebration of a piece of work, or a client relationship, or a nomination, or something to do with the growth of the business. They're absolutely brilliant. But when it's national, and I have to be honest, when we did get down to London, lots of people just kept saying, oh, they're from the north. So actually, it's like, you can tell that when we walk into a London venue that is £66 for a bottle of Prosecco, my goodness, and you sit down at a table and you have committed quite a lot of money, quite a lot of time, particularly when you take a client with you, you really want to kind of maximise that opportunity. So these awards that we went to were awards that were filled with really great brands. So we were finalists in the Outsourced In-House Recruitment Team Award, alongside our partners Ad Geffen. So Ad Geffen are our clients who, like I said earlier, we've worked with for a number of years now, and they have just set up a massive big experience centre. So basically it's like a whiskey distillery, it is a museum, it's a gift shop, it's a bistro, it's just fantastic. It's in Wooler. People who are listening to this might actually have been up there. If you haven't, you need to go and see it. It's absolutely brilliant. So we were down acknowledging our finalist status for those awards. And because we didn't have tickets until the actual day, we were put on table 71. Table 71 of 71 tables, which poor Andy, our client, I had to tell him straight away. I was like, I am really sorry, Andy. We are literally, there's going to be no one behind us. We'll be on this back table. We're just going to have to try our hardest just to forget that we're not right at the front and just really, really enjoy it. But you know what? We sat next to a group of individuals who were from Total Jobs, which, because my field is recruitment and learning and development, that they were really good contacts and they were great people to have conversations with about how they're finding other businesses who are grown and how they're having conversations with other businesses about what's happening. And it was really good to catch up with them because they were national, so they were talking about some of the kind of stats and the kind of the updates from across the full country. But we also sat with Sunderland University, Amelia and Johnny, and I have to say that it was the internal recruitment team. What a brilliant bunch of people, and we laughed from the very beginning till the very end. And Amelia and I had our first dance. Sounds a bit more romantic than it was, but we had our first dance before any of the awards came out. So actually it was just such a good, positive, everyone celebrating on behalf of each other kind of an event, and you can't kind of take that for granted. I think you've got to really invest in those kind of events to be able to make sure that you get out of them what you want to get out of them and you engage with other people. There was other North East businesses there as well, which was fabulous. So I went out and had a look on the seating plan, found out where everyone was and went over to the tables and gave hugs and congratulations and best of luck. And then when their names were read out, we cheered for them as well. So it was just a really good feeling of community spirit for the North East. And I was super proud to be there and be there with Alison, who's one of my team members, who has worked on the account with Ad Geffrin for years. Be there with a client and celebrate how well working together feels. That was absolutely fantastic. The other thing as well was that the brands that were in the room were huge. So our business has been going for 4 years. You know, we've got 14 team members, 2 offices. We are just at the cusp of that maturity thing. You know, we're not a startup anymore. We've been going for 4 years. We're proving our revenue has increased year on year. Our growth has been really good. We've won some great awards already. You know, we've had a really great sprint at 4 years, but now it's really time for us to start to mature and be in the room with other businesses who have been around for a lot longer. And actually, when you do get up for an award or you do get finalist status and you're sitting in a room with the likes of Lidl, Uber, Just Eat, Booking.com, Specsavers, British Airways, you know, big international, in some cases, businesses, all recommended, shortlisted, finalists for the same awards as you. You can't help but feel like, oh my goodness, should we actually be here? But on Wednesday, I really, really felt like, actually, I am so proud that we're just in this room being acknowledged in the same way that some of those other businesses who have been around for a lot longer are being acknowledged too. And I took it with both hands. It was just fabulous. We've got some great photos that we'll keep now as part of our journey. One of the things that I've really enjoyed doing over the last 4 years is documenting everything and keeping everything. So I can look back next year and be able to say, can you remember when we went to London and we were in those awards and we were finalists for a partnership with a client that is just the ideal client for us? You know, I've got all of those things that are really I'm going to look back and think, oh, I'm really, really proud of those things. I also think from an internal kind of engagement perspective, doing awards as well is really good because it really gives the team the pat on the back that they deserve. And it also gives the wider team the pride that we're doing it right and they work for a business that is recognised at national level and recognised for all of the hard work and determination and commitment that they give us. So there's lots of different reasons why, you know, going to an award ceremony, paying the money, giving the investment of travelling somewhere and maybe an overnight stay is worth it, as well as the silverware. The silverware is great when you first start out. It gives credibility to the brand. It makes people understand that you are putting yourself out there and you're in the rooms with the individuals that you want to be in the rooms with. And I do think that as your business matures, you start getting a little bit more selective about the kind of awards that you want to go to. I know for us, our kind of next step is to be in those specialist criterias where we can be seen as experts, thought leaders, disruptors in our specialisms, and that's definitely where we're going next. So being in London, being around that stage with those businesses who are internal recruitment teams, being in rooms where we are in part of the internal learning and development teams for businesses, that's exactly where we need to go. So really the moral of the story for this one is, although sometimes it does feel difficult to concentrate on the positives, and sometimes you do feel like you're bragging, or you do feel like you are shoving success in other people's faces, and it can't just be about the silverware, like I said earlier. I think going to awards, celebrating success, enjoying the journey is something that's absolutely essential when growing a business. It's so important for the team. It's so important for you. It's so important to take that step back and be like, actually, we're doing really good things. And like I say, from a networking perspective, from building a community and being part of a community, that kind of celebrating success is super useful for that too. So go and get yourself in for some awards. Choose wisely. Choose ones that, are definitely going to make you stand out. Make sure they're the ones that your potential audience, your clients will look at and think, yeah, that does give them some standing. I would potentially consider them over their competitors because they're getting that accolade and that recognition from something more than just their own sales pitch. And I would say, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, enjoy it. It is tough. So when you get the opportunity to let your hair down, kick off your shoes and have a bit of a dance on the dance floor with your team, your clients, with your community of people who are in it for the right reasons and in it for the same things as you, take it with both hands. I sat there for a couple of seconds and thought, that's how important that was to them. And although it felt a little bit like, really, is that the main priority? Is that something I need to be using my time for? Do I need to be doing that quickly? I am so glad that I did.